Okay, so this is an electrical walk, so I'll walk through and point out the options. I don't have the paper, so I don't have everything in front of me, but I think I remember what it was. So first thing is the electrical panel. This is the panel just on the inside of the house. The actual switches are on the outside of the house. He had mentioned that technically they're supposed to be on the other side of the house, which would be the end of the wall, but because we're in a cul-de-sac, the fire code requires it to be closer to that side and not the other side. So that's why your panel is here instead of inside of the garage. But the switches, again, it's going to be on the outside. So he said this will all be drywalled flush. You asked for 4 lights in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they're all tied, I think, to this switch. So that one's that there. I'll show you this wall. This is a source for the sprinkler system, which you'll see will become relevant upstairs, and I'll show you why. As we were walking the lights, I also asked them to make sure that they all lined up because that was a problem in my house where they didn't line up straight, and in this house they all line up straight, so everything's fine. This is again the bathroom that you'll probably wind up reconfiguring. This room, I think this is where a cabinet, or this is just like the outer room where you could put a cabinet, but I don't think that you ordered one for here. This is the actual bathroom that I think you're going to remodel. You asked for a light. Where is it? Oh, I think you asked for a J-box to go right above the sink. So here's the sink, and then that looks like that's where the J-box is going to come out. And then here's the where the toilet would be. And then this is just a closet. You asked for, or they put in an additional switch because this duplex covers one here, and then the other switch runs out to the J-box that you asked for on the outside of the house to cover that alley. So here's the actual backside of the J-box. So that one's that. So in living room, dining room, these are the 2 standard J-boxes that would go over the dining table here. That's standard. But then in the living room, you requested 4 can lights. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And those, I think, all tie back to this bank of switches here. So that's the standard bank of switches there. And then here's the extended island, and I mentioned to you that they put in additional lighting. So you actually already get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 can lights. Actually, I don't know if you get them or if you asked for them to be put in. I don't remember. Actually, it might be standard, but here's where I said that they added a light because you asked for 2 additional J-boxes so that you can install the drop-down pendant lights to go over your island. But when the electrician saw it, he assumed that you were doing 1, 2, 3 and just installed all 3. So you'll have 3 over your island. And again, Francesco said that he won't add in, you won't get charged for it. So now you have 3 in there. And then these are all electrical outlets, and I think switches or outlets, I don't remember, but that goes all over your cabinetry. So that's all that. I'll go in the garage really quick. So in the garage, there's a couple things to look at. What is this? That's your main cutoff, and then this is, I think, the where they test the pressure for the fire system, the sprinkler system. This is your loop for the water softener. and then this is the outlet for it. And then on this side, I think that's for your sprinkler system. That would be the data for the sprinkler, and then probably the outlet or the switch. And then you also have a J-box outside here somewhere. It's over there. So that's a J-box for the outside of the house on that side. You mentioned these are important to note because this is the, I think, supply and return for the AC, which is on the other side of this wall. And that'll become relevant when we go upstairs. So this is the garage. There's no railing or no pony wall because you had railings installed. So this is the temporary railing until they drywall it, and then they'll put in the rest of the railing. And then now we're up in the second floor loft. He explained why you can't do a railing here, because I remember this is a question that we asked, and he said that the reason why is because the designers didn't want, because you get a clear view into the living room, they didn't want to make this a railing because then you would kind of like see all the way through and it wouldn't look nice. But also, if you remember the model, what they did was they did sofa here and TV here. So keeping this as a pony wall gives you additional wall space in case you wanted to do some sort of, U-shaped sofa or some sort of corner sofa. So that's that. This wall in particular is very important because I mentioned downstairs that this orange pipe is the supply for the sprinkler system. So now why this is a problem is, if we back up, if you look at the wall and consider that this would be your TV wall, right? This is actually, we measured it earlier, this is the center of the wall. So if you're screwing a TV mount or something to this, you have to make sure that you don't puncture this. So he said to make sure that I got you a picture of what this wall looked like, because you wouldn't want to, screw something into here, hit this inadvertently, and then all of a sudden you burst the pipe for your sprinkler system, because that would be bad. He also mentioned that the sprinkler system water pressure is the pressure at the street. It's not the pressure of the house. So if you were to pop that line, you're going to get the full pressure from the supply outside. So you flood the house. So he said, make sure don't puncture that. And then there's the electrical I think that's the data and cable for the TV that we had installed. And then there's the outlet. He couldn't put the outlet here because of the code of having to space out the electrical outlets. So that's why he couldn't put exactly in the middle. I think you also added some lights up here. So let me see. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4, and I checked them, they're all square and they tie to this bank of switches. But there's also the ceiling fan J-box, and then that's your, I think your AC. So this is the laundry room. He mentioned that it's gas only for the dryer, so you'll have to get a gas dryer, not an electrical dryer. And then this is the water supply for the washer, for the drain. That is the IT cabinet where all of the lines run into. So when you buy cable and they give you the wireless router, this is where you would put it, in this area. It's what I have in my house also. This is the bathroom shared by bedroom 2 and bedroom 3. So here's another one where you ask for J boxes above the sinks, so they're both centered with where the sink would be. And then, of course, the regular can lights that it comes with. And then this is the bathtub and toilet. There's water in it. Mine had water in it also. I'll drain it out. And then these are the other bedrooms. Here you didn't add any lights, but there's the standard J-box for ceiling fan. But you did add electrical and data. So there's data cable and there's electrical, because the thought would be the bed would go here, and then that would be either the TV wall or where there would be a desk, right? And here's your views. Here's PJ's house. And then here's the other bedroom. Same thing, so hypothetically, bed would go here maybe, or bed would go here. And then there's the area where you would have a desk or a TV. And there's the data, there's the electrical. Downstairs I mentioned the AC supply and return. And he said that this is another one where you have to be very careful if you were going to mount a shelf or something, that you want to make sure that you don't puncture these, because he said it would actually be a very, very expensive fix. So he said to make sure you note of those. And then this is the view. It's, what time is it right now? It's 3:40, so the sun's on that side. It rises on that side. And then coming into the master, I don't think you added anything here, but it automatically comes with data. I think this is one of the rooms where it automatically comes with data and electrical. So nothing to worry about puncturing in these studs. No extra lights in this room, but there's your ceiling fan. And then here is this will be your bank of switches, and then there's your thermostat wire. This is the back view. Your neighbor has a pool. So, I don't know if you could see it. There's a pool there. And then this is the master closet. Here are 2 lights for the closet, but then you also asked to put an electrical outlet. So that's the outlet, and then here's the switches. I think you put one in there because there's no, they don't put an outlet in the closet by default. And then here's the shower bathtub combo, master bathroom. And then here's another one where you asked for J-box above the sink. Here's one. They didn't put the J-box in, but he said they'll put it in. And then here's the other one, so they put it there, centered above the sink. He said this is another water softener loop that has something to do with the fire system and the master toilet. And there's a long explanation, and I'll explain it to you, but it's part of the code. And then here's the view outside the master bathroom. He was doing the Q&A walk with me, and he had shared with me that all the blue markings are places where the first round inspector, party inspector, determined that there are high spots. So anywhere you see blue, it's high spots where they want to shave it down so it becomes completely flat. And what their drywall inspector does also is they run a straight edge across all of the studs to make sure that there's no bowing. So here's an example where it was buckling inward, so they add these shims to level it out with the studs next to it. And then here's an example of a smooth stud where it was kind of bumping out a little. So what they do is they plane it down so that it'll be, well, you can't see it from this, but it'll be straight. And that's their way of minimizing buckling in the drywall. Back downstairs. So that's all the stuff on the inside. There isn't really much on the outside. The only electrical things are just to make sure that you had the standard J-box for the coach light on the outside. I think that's your gas stub, I think. Or it might be water. Maybe the water one. This is where the AC units will be. And then that's the J-box that you asked for the side of, oh no, yeah, that's the J-box you asked for the side of the house. So that you can add a security light there. Where's the one on this side? Oh. And then there's that one there. I didn't ask him if they're walling this off. I guess I'll have to ask him next time I see him. And then on the front side, here's the J-box that you asked. You can see it there. But that's the one for the light that you want to put. Oh, see, that's the standard one. And then that's the one over the garage. All right, that's it.